Do you find me fuckable in my tie leather pants? If you find me touchable.
Hello guys, welcome back. So a new episode. How are you, Jose?
Welcome back to my channel. I'm good. We just finished watching episode 2 of Slag Wars. It got way better.
Ooh, and we're gonna get into that. So I wanted to start today with asking you a question, and I think they asked it kind of towards the beginning too. What is a cock destroyer to you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh man, Cock Destroyer. That's my middle name.
Well, I mean, this question comes just to do a little recap from last week. So last week we had everybody come in. We saw we saw them, we met them, kind of got to know them. They did a pole dancing mini challenge. And then we kind of had a little moment where Nikki told Kevin that he wasn't really a cock destroyer and that why was he there if he didn't work in porn and stuff like that. And then we had the videos, and then so they did the vampires, I don't know, whatever they were. And then we got a winner, but then we didn't get a loser, right? So we kind of were like, oh my God, Sophie kind of was like, I don't want to send anybody home. And it was this whole thing, which you guessed it was part of kind of her being like, this is how you make it viral, which I'm 100% behind you now because everybody talked about it. Everybody was like, oh my God, now who's going to go home? Who's going to go home? And then we find out, in this episode, we find out that no one's going home and that Sophie's still staying. They made this little plot line.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right? No one's going home. Sophie's staying and she's still being part of the contest. But they do kind of touch on what is a cock destroyer. So for you said you were just a cock destroyer. Well, you love to get face fucked, so we know why you're a cock destroyer.
I think that we all destroy cock.
Oh, I mean, some of us.
It's just how you do it.
Yeah, I think the cock destroyer, for me, a cock destroyer is just being open and not giving a shit about your sexuality, whatever that means, as a top, as a bottom, as a verse, just going full in, whatever that means. Because that means to be fucking just wrecking an ass, or despunking, like they say, a nice cock. Spunking.
But yeah, I kind of agree with your definition of a cock destroyer. I think that even if you have vanilla sex, then you still destroyed a cock.
I mean, I've had a lot of vanilla sex where I'm laying there going like, what did you just do to my poor little Willie? So we kind of start off the episode with kind of them all just kind of talking and kind of getting to know each other. So we have Tyrese talking about him coming out and how hard it was for him, and just kind of talking about his coming out story and living within the community. I mean, he's talking to Kevin, and Kevin is kind of talking about how he has no friends. Really, all his friends are girls.
Right.
So he's just.
He's from a small little town.
Yeah, he's a small little town. Which I'm gonna say this: Kevin is adorable. I wanna just scoot him up and just make him my little baby. He's husband material. The rest of them are not.
But él no tiene chispa. Like, he doesn't have that spark.
Yeah.
You know?
So then we cut to, we have Cameron, Nikki, and Gustavo talking together, and Gustavo talks about how he gets along with his mom. His mom and him are cool. Right before he left, he told his mom. Yeah, he told, and it's funny because, and you guys will see this. We talk about in my podcast how close he is with his mom, and how like his mom and him are super tight and like super best friends. So it was interesting to hear him talk about it on the show. But then we have Cameron, on the other hand, where he talks about how his relationship with his parents are the opposite of that. And he comes from a really religious family where they really kind of kicked him out. But then he tells us that a couple years later, his sister came out as lesbian, and that their relationship is kind of becoming better. And
That
Nikki,
was Jesus. Jesus did that.
did Jesus is like,
And
I
I think,
got you.
yeah, and then I think Nikki also referenced that she also grew up in a similar situation with a family like that, you know.
Yeah, and
But
she
she
tells us, yeah, and she tells us about like how she got into the drag and how drag was. I mean, she's from Tampa, and like she says, a lot of girls from Tampa are usually trans girls who are doing drag, so you get that dynamic. So I mean, we kind of talk about how they make it clear that everybody kind of has a different dynamic within the families. So that was very interesting. And then we had a little other segment where I mean, it was Sophie and I don't know, it was like that. Legit, the only two parts that I found interesting were the first two, the first two ones, and the ones, and the ones with Nikki and the boys. The other one, I don't even remember. Do you remember?
no,
Like
you kind of lost me. I'm sorry.
yeah, I think the conversation. I mean, I think it was having those two strong conversations, then
Right.
having a
They were more serious.
conversation. It was yeah, there were more serious conversations, more important conversations that we kind of were stuck in our emotions. I know I was stuck in my emotions after those two those two
Yeah,
conversations.
I just like that Gustavo gave that perspective of like being mama's boy, because that gives hope to a lot of people who may not be out to their parents. You know, you never know. Like sometimes you think the worst. Like if I come out, like my parents are gonna abandon me or whatever. Who knows? They might become your gay BFFs. You know.
But the one thing they did talk about was gagging reflexes.
Oh shoot!
So now
I
Mr.
don't know her.
Jose, Mr. Jose. You don't know Miss
I
Gabby
don't
Reflex. Well, that's interesting because today's, I think overall, I think
You're stupid.
overall the conversation is about kinks. So I think overall, the mini challenge, we're going to talk about ASMR, and
Uh-huh.
then their photo shoots are going to be kink related. So
Yeah.
why don't I tell you guys what kinks are before we get into this conversation? So
Oh, that's right. I forgot you majored in kinks in college. Hoology. Go ahead.
So, kink in human sexuality is the use of non conventional sexual practices, concepts, or fantasies. The term derives from the idea of a bend in one's sexual behavior to contrast such behaviors with straight or vanilla sexual morals and proclivities. So yeah, so that's what kinks are. I know you and me in our and there's gonna be an episode that you're gonna release where we kind of talk about kinks, having your own kinks. This
Oh no, I'm open to kinks and fetishes, but
fetishes.
I don't particularly care for like latex kinks or like leather or
Yeah.
like the harnesses, the boots.
You're like, that's not really my thing.
It doesn't
Oh,
really do it for me.
but what about ASMR? How do you feel about ASMR?
I love ASMR, but I
Can you
don't
get?
think that's a kink. Is it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, if it helps you get off, it could be considered a kink.
No, it helps me go to sleep.
Well, I mean, the way they were doing it today, there was more to about to getting off. Now
Yeah,
we
it was
have
kind of hot. It was sexy. I like it.
on this. Okay,
It was like some old cum got stuck down there.
okay. So
Get it out.
the way they were kind of talking about ASMR was more of the sexual, like late. Remember those videos about if you called late at night?
Hotlines.
Yeah, those hotlines. So they were more doing that. Can you give me your best ASMR hotline call?
You
Come
put
on,
me on the spot.
make
Let me
us
think of
come.
something.
One eternity later.
You say.
Something that turns me on. Let's see. Like, hey, Chris, give me some in and out.
I hate you so much.
Extra cheese. A large chocolate shake. Make it really hot. Because that will turn me on.
Okay.
What about you?
Is it spread on the side?
Yes, animal style. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. For me, it would be more like I'm like we're gonna talk about this, but I'm like Gustavo, but like the Hispanic mom. Ponte a limpiar los trastes. Go broom. Your room.
That does not turn me on.
Oh, for me, a nice
Like, Mom,
clean.
get out my ear.
For me,
I thought you were gonna go more like the Hispanic, you know, like the rico suave, mami, papi, sensual, rico suave
you
voice.
see, I don't know. I mean, for me, like that's not the thing. I'm, and we're gonna talk about this. I'm more of a dom, so for me, it's more about telling you what to do in an aggressive, assertive voice, less about the whispering in your ear. I mean, I'll tell you like, you like that? You want it deeper? Yeah, you want me to come inside of you? That's what I'll do, but I'm not gonna do more.
And I'm more like all of the above. Why are you asking me these questions?
Just
Just
do
do
it.
it.
So we start with you know, I don't know. Cam, I mean, I think the best line was, "You want my gravy, babies."
Oh God,
That
that
was
was so corny.
that was. I mean, but I mean that's like the oldest, like the oldest saying in the book.
Who says that?
And then, but then we had Gustavo. And Gustavo gave us that bilingual daddy, like what you were expecting.
Exactly.
And he was making the Cock Destroyers just jizz. I mean, I was listening to it going like, "Ooh, this is
You
what
got wet.
I was like, this is what I'm gonna go to bed to."
Did you pre-cum a little bit?
just just a just a
Just a
tiny
tip?
bit.
Okay, then who went next?
It was Nikki.
Sophie, I want you to grab Matthew Kemp's balls.
Went. It was
Okay.
forgettable.
Yeah, I was expecting her to kill this one. I don't know why. Especially
I
because she has
was.
like a feminine voice or like a more,
Yeah, I don't. I and if you noticed, her clip was the shortest one of all of them.
Yeah.
I think she did just that bad. I can't.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I mean, we just watched it,
It was forgettable.
and I couldn't tell you anything.
Yeah. Next.
He's like, this is Tinder. Just next.
Thank
We
you.
had Kevin.
Hello, it's Kevin. I want Matthew to join in.
Kevin was just being cute. I think he was being cute. He was giggling the whole time. He couldn't. I don't know. Look, if we're learning anything, is that Kevin's cuteness and his little boy energy is just so endearing to me. And so
This is why you can't be a judge.
yeah, I would
You fell for it.
I would have been
Yeah.
like, little boy, let me just corrupt you. And I said that last week.
Oh, and then who went next after him?
So then we had Tyrese.
I liked it.
You liked it? I thought it was forgettable. What did you like about it?
I don't remember.
That,
I don't remember what I liked about it, but I liked it.
okay.
You know what it is? I liked his outfit. That's probably why. The hat. I was feeling the hat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I took notes while we were reading this, and all I wrote was forgettable. because even while he was talking, I couldn't remember what. I know he said he was just saying stuff.
Because they were whispering.
I don't know. Then we have Levi.
Now it's time to get your big, wet credit card out and give me the long card number and 3 digits on the back.
Levi did the funniest thing to me where he was asking for like the credit card number. He was like, I'm gonna go shopping, I'm gonna go do this. It was funny. And which he was our winner.
Yes.
He did
won the mini.
he won the mini challenge. And I think he deserved it. I think besides Gustavo, who Gustavo was funny, I think he was for sure the smartest one and played kind of into it.
Yeah.
Cock Destroyers kind of really were enjoying what he was saying.
So for me, ASMR is not about like a sexy voice. I thought ASMR is more about addicting noises that sound soothing. So it could be like crunching a pickle. It could be about chewing. It could be about like drinking, gulping. So I expected them to like use their nails on the microphone. Maybe like use their mouth noises, like
so I think
things like that.
I think when you think about ASMR, you think about more like the mainstream ASMR. I think they were going for more of the sex ASMR, like the whispering in the ear, the one that gives you like the chills behind your back. Do you get me? And I would have said that the only one that gave me the chills behind my back was Gustavo.
Right. But the most memorable one was Levi with the credit card joke.
Yeah. I mean, and Downs has down. Just that goes down. That was it. So then they say that today's episode is going to be a photo shoot, and it was going to be a kink photo shoot. They introduce who were going to be the two people who were going to be in charge of kind of giving them the idea of how the photo shoot should have gone. And what was, so they kind of introduced the two girls, because it was two girls who have had years of leather training and kink training, and they really knew what they were talking about, which was Emily. They were badass. Emily and Cookie, which I think were super sexy and so pretty. And the first thing that they said is, this is super important with you talk about kinks, is consent and safety. And coming from coming from that world, consent is like the number one thing, and safety, making sure your partner's safe and your partner feels like they're being
sure there's a safe word.
And the safe word, the most
What's
important.
Your safe word?
My safe word has always been banana. Because well, you see, for me, safe words, and I think overall, safe words are just words that you don't use, that you wouldn't use during sex. So I wouldn't confuse it with anything.
You would never say like, "Give me your banana."
No.
No.
Do you say that?
I feel like I've said banana during sex.
Okay, well, I've never used
banana. I want
banana.
you to split me like a banana split. There, I did it. I put it in the sentence. Banana is definitely not my safe word.
Okay. So we start with Emily. She kind of tells us that golden showers are her thing. How do you feel about a golden shower?
Like R. Kelly style?
Yeah, well, that's what a golden shower is, girl.
So I think that's kind of gross.
Okay, well, we're not gonna yuck at the people's yum.
However, if you're in the shower together and one of you has to pee, and you want to pee on my leg, or I want to pee on your leg, because like I don't mind that, especially if it turns you on, and I'm I like to satisfy. Then let's go for it.
As Emily said, yeah, she's down with a good golden shower. And then we have Miss Cookie, who says she's more of a dom. She's more of a dom when it comes into being sexual, which we were talking about it, and I was telling you how I loved, like I could only see myself in that mindset, just because, and this is an important thing, you just need to be a more authoritative and just more in control. and I am such a control freak when it comes to
But are you a control freak just in bed or in general, like in
in
life?
general in life. Like, and we were talking about this
I
last
would
week
hate to
too.
be your boyfriend.
No, and not in a bad way, but we were talking about this in like last week too. Like when it comes to like even being in charge of teams, I have to be in charge of teams because I feel like I'm the only one that's going to do things right, and everybody else could just help me make the things right. I can't let any other people. So that's like my control. When it comes to relationship, that's different things, but I am a little
When it
controller.
comes to relationships, I like equality and I like,
Yeah, me too.
balance, and I like to respect people's,
Boundaries.
thoughts and feelings and choices and all that stuff, and vice versa. But when it comes to like in bed, it really depends on the mood. But for the most part, like I just want to like have fun. I want to like get off. I want
But
to
no,
enjoy
girl,
it.
don't play. You know you want it done your way.
Actually, it's a turn on when they want it their way and they have like a idea,
Hmm.
a concept, and I'm here for it. I'm like, okay,
But you're gonna stage direct.
oh yeah, I gotta do the lighting, I gotta do the wardrobe, you know.
Like, I love that you brought your idea. Now this is how we're gonna do it.
Yes, I'm gonna put my spin on it.
So we're gonna put it on the spin it. So like you said, they get into groups. So then we had Levi won the mini challenge, which we were all kind of like, but then he get to choose the groups. Like every good drag race, whenever anybody wins the mini challenge, you know you are gonna put everybody in the groups that go in, right?
Right.
So with Cameron, Levi, and Tyrese, bondage. And then we had spanking was Kane and Kevin. And then in foot fetish we had Gustavo and Nikki. So
Yes,
that was interesting grouping. How did you think about that grouping?
I thought that I would never put Gustavo and Homegirl together because they are like a power duo, you know?
Hmm.
They're very two strong personalities, so they're obviously going to stand a better chance, you know?
That's like putting you and me together. Girl, we're ready to rock this ship.
Cock Destroyers.
So yeah, I thought they fucked up. I understood what he did. The first chance he got to choose the groups, he put himself in a group with his boyfriend.
Of course, typical.
And he chose Tyrese to be in a group with them, which Tyrese is one of the cutest. We saw that he's the flexible one, the good one, like, so he's good, and he came to not play, which he
Right.
was the winner of last week's.
The winner of last week's mini challenge for the stripping.
He was the winner of
So he's
last
a strong
week's.
competitor already. You want somebody like that on your team.
Hmm. So then we have Levi and Carmen kind of come to the side, and that's kind of where we find out that Levi will be leaving the competition. How did you feel about that?
Drama. I think it's so dramatic. Like,
Well,
just leave, homeboy.
I think
Like you were the bottom two last week. I think that the show could only be interesting if you kick people out because you can't everyone can't be a winner.
okay, but this is not a kick out. This is someone leaving, and like I noticed, he wasn't really
Technically,
into the
he was gonna
game.
be the one that was gonna get kicked out.
You thought he was gonna be the weak link, no matter what. So
Right. He was gonna leave anyways.
okay, I mean, girl.
But Levi is all about his brand and his recognition, and that's why I knew he was gonna do this strategy. It's like, oh, y'all are not kicking me out. I'm leaving.
Oh,
I am above this.
okay. Yeah, he kind of does go into that a little bit. He does kind of
Yeah.
say,
It's not
this,
for me.
this is not for me. I'm not
It's
here for
not y'all. It's me.
that. So now let's talk about the photo shoot. So let's talk about the first
I
group.
want to do a photo shoot like that, by the way.
You do? Oh,
Yeah.
maybe we
Well,
have.
let me lose like 100 pounds, and then I'll do it.
So maybe if we do a season 2, and if they do a season 2, we'll have some photo shoots. Maybe those will be our pictures next
Oh, and we should like apply to be on the show. Wait, is that why you got me to do this YouTube series with you? Because you want to be on season 2?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So let's start with Kevin and Cameron. They got spanking. I am gonna tell you this off the bat. I was upset with Kevin because of the underwear he wore. I think if you're doing spanking, they could have shown their butts. I mean, spanking butt, right?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
I get it. He was supposed to be the dom in the group, in the pair.
Mhm.
But he could have, one of them had to show their butt. Where's the jock straps? We both know they both have jock straps.
Where's the butt?
Where's the butt? It was a good picture. Kane is on all fours with an apple in his mouth and getting spanked by Kevin. It was a hot picture. They had good chemistry. We later on see that the Cock Destroyers kind of don't like the idea that Kevin is smirking in the picture.
Well, I think what happened is that all 3 photos were really good. And so you have to start criticizing the smallest little things. It comes down to that. It comes down to the smallest little thing.
The only note I have and the only thing I would say is, as a dom, sometimes I get more satisfaction from giving someone else pain, that I will smirk because I'm getting off of giving that other person pain. So if I see them in pain, it will make me smile. That might be a little dark.
That is super dark, bro.
So when they were like, no, he should have a little bit more serious face, I didn't really agree with that. So then
I think that because it's a photo shoot, though.
Yeah, I think they
You
wanted
gotta
more.
sell it. You gotta sell it. So the smirk, you had to tell the story to justify your smirk. I don't have time for the story. I'm looking at a photo.
Okay, you're right. So now next we have Tyrese and Cameron, which is, they did bondage and they had some rope. I guess it really did throw a wrench into them that they didn't have Levi. And they didn't really know what to do because they were expecting for Levi to be there, which is not an excuse for me.
No, if anything, that's better.
Right? It's 2 of them.
What's Levi gonna do? Just sit there?
Yeah, so the photographer had to end up telling them, oh, this is what you guys should do. You tie your feet, you tie your hands, kind of play with that. So we ended up with a picture of Tyrese kind of on the floor laying back, and Cameron kind of over him, kind of like tying, getting the rope higher from him, which I thought was a hot picture too.
I thought so too. And they are very flexible. and that comes across a lot in the photograph. So I thought that the photo like sold itself,
The Cock Destroyers and Matthew kind of do talk about how they were not very like head in the game. They were joking around. They were like messing around. That I would say, yeah, I disagree with that too. Like if you only have 10 pictures, which I forgot to say, they only had 10 pictures. You need to make sure that every picture should be a 10. So there is no time to mess around. There is no time to joke around, right? So then lastly but not least, we had Gustavo and Nikki. Now, Nikki talks about how she's trans, she's openly trans, and they kind of talk about how they wanted to switch positions, which I love that so much. So and I think we talked about it last week, when you see Gustavo, you think this like man, you think this, this powerful person who he's going to be in charge, right?
Right.
You see Nikki and you think this beautiful, dainty little girl, so she's going to be the sub, but they switched that on you.
I love it. Switching positions for you. I like it because, people are into different shit. And so if you look masculine because you got like muscles and tattoos and like a beard, but you're probably into like wearing like pink lacy underwear.
Right. So the picture is basically Gustavo flexing his arms, but with his leg over her head, but in I don't know how you say it in Spanish, but like in medias. So in medias
Oh, and
with
stockings.
heels, in stockings and
Yeah.
heels.
Fishnets. They were actually fishnets.
Well, fishnets. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought it was so sexy. I think um and I think they talk about it even too. Like it showed like Nikki was happy to be there. It wasn't something more for her, less for him. You know, he was this just guy that had to do whatever she wanted. You know, so I thought that
Said
was
that she wasn't into feet, I think.
yeah. So out of the three pictures, so out of the three pictures, we had the spanking, we had the foot fetish, and we had the bondage. Which one was your favorite?
My favorite photograph was between the bondage and the foot fetish. But I would say my top favorite photo was the foot fetish.
The foot fetish?
It had a story to it. It had like a depthness into it.
Mhm.
You can tell that
Yeah,
they just finished like doing something, you know?
yeah. I think yeah, for me, for sure. I mean, the foot fetish one was sexy. I mean, it's not even a secret at this point. Anything Gustavo's gonna be in, I'm gonna be like, yes, he's the winner. He's my winner. But yeah, I did like it, and I like the spanking one. I mean, that's my second one. I liked Kevin's energy in it. It was cute. I think Kane came in
You
and was
felt
like,
seen.
I felt seen. I love a good spanking. I love spanking someone. Okay, well, let me not jack off
Wait,
for
do
you
you
right now.
do you spank with like a thing or like just with your bare hand? Oh,
Mm,
you lick it.
mm. A good, nice, wet spank, or I'll get lube, and I love to like massage a nice ass with lube, and then just give it a good. Okay, well, before this gets out of control,
I
um,
know it's kinda
right? We had them come out in their last looks, so it was bare body butts.
hot. Ooh, that's your kind of party.
Yeah, now, oh, I love a good jock strap. I love ass being out. I mean, you know this. I'm an ass guy.
We get it, Chris.
So we had Gustavo come in this cute little cholito with a bandana, his white wife beater, and some like mesh shorts and some like cute little underwear. It was cute. It did it for me. It was on brand. What did you think about it?
I thought it was safe for him. It's very his brand, and so I like that.
Okay.
But in comparison to the others,
They're like, we had Miss Nikki. Nikki came out in just naked with some big sensor signs,
uh,
just
I
covering
love that.
the front goodies.
Yeah, I forget which celebrity did that first, and I don't know if Marilyn Monroe did it at some
No,
point.
well, here comes a little trivia, and I only know this because of Drag Race. It was Madonna in her
Oh
little coffee table thing, because
yeah,
Valentina did the same thing where they had like a night of 1,000 Madonnas or whatever.
yeah, that was hot. I like that.
It was just
I
something.
just realized that there's this big black pussy behind me. Uh-huh.
So then we had Kane, and Kane came in this like bodysuit, but it was like with like muscles. It was like a bodysuit.
Yeah,
So that was interesting. That was fun. What did you
that
think
was
about it?
artistic.
That was artistic. He's for sure is the artistic.
He's like Cap, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It was really cute. We have Tyrese came in this cowboy outfit, like the little cowboy hat,
Uh-huh.
little arms,
Yeah.
sleeves, and chaps, assless chaps, right? So and then it was all cow print. So I mean that was interesting. That was interesting. And
That was very
then
interesting because it stands out. How can you forget a cow print?
yeah,
People never forget cow print,
yeah, cow print is always the right thing to do.
right?
And then
Was brown cow stunning?
oh, Oh, but actually, brown cow, stunning. Not not giraffe.
That's funny.
So then, lastly but not least, Kevin. I don't know what he was doing. I'm just gonna. I don't know what that outfit was. It was this. It was like a sexy nun, sexy priest, because it was like this square kind of like neck thing with a jock strap. It was all black.
Mm-hmm. He had a concept, but he didn't execute it right.
Yeah, it wasn't cute. So that was kind of it. What did you think about these looks?
I thought they were okay. I mean, I enjoyed all of them. There were a lot, there were some that stood out more than the others. It's a competition, so you don't want to be safe.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you want to look good, and I think that's why some of them are like going like the stylish route.
Mhm.
But then like pull some stunts. I mean, look at what she did with the censored blocks. Like that's very memorable. Look at Homeboy in the cowboy print. Like that's super memorable.
Yeah.
You can't eliminate that.
Those are the two people that I would say were the strongest and got it down to the T.
Yeah.
I think everybody else was I'm gonna say this. I think overall this runway was just not as impressive as last week's. I think last week's was amazing. This one is not my favorite runway so far. Which we're only talking about two. So we found out that the winner was Gustavo and Nicole. I mean,
course.
was that even a surprise?
Nope.
That picture
All
was
the way.
amazingly hot. And then sadly we find out that Kevin is going home.
Oh, your little boo thing.
Well, but if it makes any of you happier, he has an OnlyFans now, so
Check that out.
we could go check that out and subscribe.
Go support small businesses.
But that was so that we had their first elimination. Do you agree or do you disagree?
With the elimination?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Wow, didn't even think about it. Didn't even.
Yeah, because kind of like what the conversation that they had in the previous episode about him not being a cock destroyer, him not having experience.
Okay. It just shows.
It kind of like came out. Yeah, unfortunately, like there you have it.
Yeah, just what I mean, and just whenever you're taking pictures, if there's a certain thing you're trying to sell in the pictures, you have to make sure that you're selling that in the pictures. He was selling Dom. He didn't sell Dom. I mean, sadly, as much as I love a good chuckle when I make someone hurt, it was, that was what you're supposed to be selling. You're supposed to be selling Dom. He just didn't sell Dom.
That's right.
So that brings us to another week. How do you think about the show? What do you think about the show so far?
I definitely am happy that they are eliminating people.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say bitches, because I want the competition to like keep getting harder. No, I want the competition to be very competitive. I want them to have, some challenging challenges. I just said competitive competition and challenging challenges. Yeah, because I think that's gonna bring the sluts out of them, And so you have to start eliminating the ones that are like meh, and let's get to the good shit.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's good. It's entertaining. There's a lot of laughs. They're all just funny as hell. Yeah, so they're killing it. So thank you for coming to another review with us. This was so much fun. I'm enjoying it so much. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And don't forget, like, subscribe, follow us on our Instagrams. Everything will be in the description below. Follow and listen to our podcast. We both have 2 different podcasts that are both amazingly. So listen to them. Is there anything you wanna plug besides your Instagram, Babyface?
No. Follow me on Instagram. Send me some dirty questions because I'm bored during quarantine. And follow the podcast, the Homo Homie podcast, because we talk about like shit like this all the time. And I want to know what people want us to talk about in terms of reviewing these episodes. Do they want more fashion review? Do they want more drama? Do they want us to do some research and like find out who's
Dig up
sucking
some
who?
stuff.
Yeah.
I
Spunk.
will tell you this. We will be adding some interviews. I did an amazing interview with Gustavo. So in the end of this episodes, after not this one but the next one, I will be adding those. So we will be finding a little bit of behind the scenes of what
Yeah.
Gustavo thinks. So that should be extra fun.
Wait,
And
about what Gustavo thinks of you?
no, what? Oh, well, I mean, you'll find out that too. But no, what he thought about the show overall. I asked him some interesting questions. But yeah, let us know. Like you said, let us know what you guys think, what you guys want to talk about, if you guys are loving it, and all of that good stuff. My name is Chris,
Jose?
and that's it. You guys have a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.